Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. I wanted to film a quick video for you about a couple of very important trading concepts that I apply when trading breakouts to help improve my win rate. To do that, I'll take you through two breakout trades that I had in precious metal miners, Kinross Gold and Barrick Mining on the 11th of December 2025. Market Search are today's video sponsor. They're my go-to resource for analyzing company fundamentals. If you're interested in a discounted trial, then you'll find a link to that in the description and the comment section below. Okay, let's get into the video. So the three concepts that we're going to be focusing on is the context of the daily chart, the bullishness of the opening candlestick. For me, I'm going to be focused on the 5-minute time frame, but it's applicable whatever time frame that you are looking at, because it's really trying to understand the supply and demand dynamics. And I'm looking for a lot of strength, a lot of bullishness. And then third and finally, and this is the real nuance point, is group theme confirmation. So if I'm watching Barrick Mining, then preferably I want to see that the other leading precious metal miners are also breaking out. They look very bullish on the time frame that I'm looking at, and preferably the gold miner ETF, say GDX, is also displaying very bullish action and breaking out. So I'm looking for group theme confirmation. Ideally, if I'm going to add a fourth, there's also intraday relative strength versus the major indexes. So we could then see intraday relative strength for the gold miners relative to, say, the SPY ETF, the S&P 500 ETF as well. So the three to really focus on is context of the daily chart, the bullishness of the opening at candlesticks on whatever time frame you're looking at. For me, I'm focused on the 5-minute chart. Is there group theme confirmation, i.e. is the whole group breaking out and going together? And then fourth, that kind of bonus is there intraday relative strength versus the applicable major index? So when I'm looking at precious metal miners, I'm comparing that intraday strength relative to the S&P 500. So let's start going through those points, okay? We've got GDX loaded up, Kinross Gold loaded up, Barrick Gold loaded up. We've got their daily charts and then their 5-minute charts below. Okay, so let me just then give you a feel for where the entries are. So Kinross Gold, it's there on the opening 5-minute range breakout, so the ORB opening range breakout there for Kinross Gold. Barrick Gold is down here, the 5-minute opening range breakout, so it's taking out the high of that bullish first 5-minute candlestick. Kinross taking out the high of that first 5-minute candlestick. Initial risk is tight relative to the 20-day ADR percentage, giving me a little bonus here. Okay, so if I go there, so I'm taking it through the high there, stop loss lower day, so it's just over 1%. That's 1%. Let's just call it 1%. So the figures are nice and round, and that's a little bit more, but 1% relative to a 20-day ADR percentage of, let's say, 4%. It's a quarter. Okay, when I'm looking for these at ORBs, I'm really looking for something between a quarter to a half relative to the 20-day average daily range percentage. So that is the 20-day average daily range percentage of the stock, excluding gaps, over the last 20 days. I find that a really useful risk metric. Okay, so I'm gauging my initial risk relative to the quickness of the stock, the volatility of the stock. So as I said, a quarter to a half is kind of the sweet spot that I am aiming for. If we look at Barrick, it's actually going to be a little bit wider. Okay, it's around about 2%. It's around about half. Okay, if this was closer to, say, 3% initial stock relative to an ADR of 4%, that's about 3/4, isn't it? I'm not sure I would have gone for the trade with that. When it starts getting over half, it's got to be really, really, really good. Okay, really good. But a quarter to a half is where I'm kind of gauging initial risk, or the kind of sweet spot for where I want to be gauging initial risk. Why? Because then if the stock goes on a decent intraday move from the type of ORBs that I then look to target, then I can look to free roll into that. Okay, certainly if I'm looking at around about a half, if it goes up its 20-day ADR percentage, that would then be 1 times the initial risk. Appreciate I probably just lost loads of you right there, but these are the things to be thinking about. Let me go back to the focus of this video, okay? Context of the daily chart. So what we've got here is some daily moving averages. We've got the 10-day EMA, which is the yellow line, the blue line, so 21-day EMA, and the purple line that you can see there is the 50-day SMA, and if you see a grey line, that's the 65-day EMA. So what do you notice with the daily charts? GDX, Kinross and Barrick Gold. Well, what have they been doing? They've been generally riding their 10-day EMA. You can see they push up here, pull in, find support, constructive action. I'd call this kind of a quasi gap down reversal bar. Then there's a shakeout to Martel the day before for GDX. Kinross Gold, we see a nice push, pulls back in like this. You don't want to be chasing precious metal miners up here. That's my view. You just don't want to do that. They're mean reverting in nature. Okay, so push by push, pulls back in, then you get this nearly an inside day there. Then you get this shakeout to Martel around the 10-day EMA, and then off it goes. Okay, Barrick Gold, push, 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 pulls in, get this nice inside day, low relative volume, then you get shakeout to Martel. Like it's a nice chart. Yeah, if you like charts, these are some nice daily charts. So the context of the daily chart is that we know that precious metal miners have been one of the strongest themes, if not the strongest theme, in 2025. And these stocks like to ORB, they like to break out, they like to trend. That's the character. May change, but recently Kinross Gold, Barrick Gold have been some of the better movers from an intraday perspective, so then get positioned on ORBs, ride the trend if you go and look back, well, all of 2025 basically. So they like to move how I like to trade them. That's a very, again, little kind of nuanced, subtle point there, but they move how I like to trade them. Okay, I like to trade stocks that move how I like to trade them, i.e. if I'm looking for ORBs, I want to see a recent history of successful ORBs. I want to see a recent history of where the stock can form a bullish opening 5-minute candlestick and then go on a decent intraday trend. Okay, same with GDX here. Bullish opening 5-minute candlestick. This is my 5-minute ORB indicator on TradingView. It's free, just search my name on TradingView, you'll find it. Okay, so it forms a really nice bullish opening 5-minute candlestick, and then it goes and rides this orange line, which is the 5-minute 6 EMA. So that's the point there in terms of the daily chart, okay? Like the context, like where they're setting up, not extended, pull back in to the 10-day EMA. Okay, like that. We're seeing some constructive price action in here too for the likes of Kinross Gold, Barrick and GDX, okay? Then going on to the next point, okay, which is the bullishness of the kind of opening range candlestick. Now for me, I like the 5-minute chart. I know some of you may like the 1-minute or the 2-minute or the 10-minute or the 15 or the 30-minute chart. I find the 5-minute chart for me is the real sweet spot with my brain, ADHD as well. So I don't want to go too kind of granular onto the 1-minute and the 2-minute chart. I like the 5-minute because I think the 5-minute gives you a nice balance of being able to just breathe in the opening couple minutes of the session. Okay, I've got multiple monitors set up and watching over 100 stocks live, and I'm trying to discern very quickly, okay, where is the strength? Where are the algos going? Is it precious metal miners like I saw on the 11th of December? So they're on a monitor over there. So I'm watching it. Okay, I got around about 16 charts for precious metal miners, including GLD, SLV, GDX, SIL. So I can see what is silver doing, what is gold doing, what are the group miners doing, such as GDX. I can see that strength. Okay, so I've got kind of like 5 minutes to be looking around. Okay, just breathe, slow it down a little bit, which is difficult for me. I appreciate talking at a million miles an hour as well. But then I'm trying to get a feel for, okay, where are the algos going? Where's the strength? Where's the intraday relative strength? Boom, I see it in precious metal miners. Now, the benefit of the 5-minute chart as well, I think, is it gives you that kind of breathing time at the open to just kind of discern, okay, what's moving, where are the algos going, where's the intraday relative strength, plan the trades out, be using hotkeys, okay, to get the orders ready. But then I think the benefit of the 5-minute chart over, say, a lower time frame chart, like the 2-minute chart, is the 5-minute chart can actually capture the bulk of the intraday trend as well. I don't think you can do that on the 2-minute chart. There's going to be too many wiggles and jiggles there. So if you take a look at, say, GDX here or Kinross Gold here, I kind of cut it off here at around 2 p.m. so I can keep the charts a little bit tighter. But this captures, okay, the vast majority of the trend. You can see that. Okay, from that entry, it goes up over 5%, which if I put that level there, you can then see where I'm pointing here. There's the high of the day. And we'll just zoom this out. You see, that's the high of the day. The 5-minute chart and the stock stayed above the 5-minute 6 EMA effectively for the entirety of the session. Okay, that there, really nice trend. If you go look at Barrick, okay, it's capturing the bulk of the intraday uptrend. Look, it's there. And it's not closed below, 2 closes below the 5-minute 6 EMA. I don't think you can do that on the 5-minute chart. So you have the benefit of keeping initial risk tight, giving yourself that kind of time to breathe, focus, dial in, okay, where's the strength, where am I seeing the setups, keep the risk tight, and then capture the bulk of the intraday uptrend if the stock is going to go on a decent run, which these stocks did. And again, you can go back, study the history. These stocks like to ORB and run along their 5-minute 6 EMA and or 5-minute 21 EMA. GDX is up, very similar, okay? So, went off track there, didn't I? So in terms of the bullishness of the opening 5-minute candlestick, GDX, this is so perfect. Like, it's perfect, okay? Opens essentially on the lower of the bar, closes on the high of the bar. It's just indicating that demand is overpowering supply. We see it with Kinross Gold. It goes right out on the high of that bar. We see it with Barrick as well. Okay, see how it goes pretty much out on the high of the bar. There's a little shakeout early on and then it recovers, turn around, lot of strength, closing pretty much on the high of the bar. So I'm looking for that bullish bar. Okay, I want to see that bullish bar if I'm going to target an ORB. The pick of the bunch is GDX. That is absolutely textbook, absolutely perfect. Then we go on to the third point, okay, which is looking for group theme confirmation. And this is the real kind of point of the video that I wanted to get across, okay? Group theme confirmation. So I use multiple monitors. I actually like using 43-inch 4K ready TVs. Instead of monitors, I buy 43-inch 4K ready TVs because they are cheap as chips. They are much more effective than monitors as well, and I think because of their more kind of square rectangular shape, they are just brilliant for loading up charts how I want to use them. So I use 4K monitors, 4K 43-inch TVs. That is what I use. You can pick them up on Amazon for like less than 200 quid, whereas monitors are ridiculously overpriced in my view. So maybe something to investigate if you're looking for monitors and utilizing a different kind of setup. Okay, but what I'm then doing is I've got around about 100 charts that I'm watching live during the session. I tried to group them together. So I have like my precious metal miners over here, mega caps here, semiconductors here, quantum stocks here, clean alternative energy stocks there, drone stocks there, crypto stocks there, so on and so forth, right? I'm trying to group them together, so then I can quickly discern where is the strength, where is the intraday relative strength, and it really just then starts standing out to you. It gives you a much better feel of the market. So if I'm watching precious metal miners, I don't just want to see that only Barrick mining is the one out of 15, 16 that I'm watching trying to break out. No, what I want to see is literally all of them trying to break out and go. Like all of them are trying to break out, which they were on the 11th of December. You can see it, GDX, that's basically the barometer of the, that's a big word, isn't it? The barometer of the group. What does the average gold miner look like? What are they doing? Obviously, there's going to be a skewing effect. You're going to have the bigger boys, the Barrick Mining, Agnico, Newmont, Wheaton are going to have more an effect of GDX. But what it's telling me is this is really strong. And you can do this as well with the multi-chart layout. Okay, you can have sector ETFs. So you could have XLK, XLV being healthcare, XLE being oil and gas, and things like that. You could have XLF being financials, because then you know if I see XLF, which is the financial ETF, if I see XLF doing this in the opening 5 minutes, that tells me that probably Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs of the world are probably really strong and may provide some really nice opening range breakout opportunities. Okay, then let's go on to the fourth point, the bonus point. Now ideally, okay, we've got the context right on the daily chart. Okay, context right on the daily chart. We've got bullish opening 5 minute candlesticks. We've got group theme confirmation, where like the whole group and or theme is looking like it just wants to go powering higher. And then the fourth point is, when they are doing that, is it also displaying intraday relative strength versus the applicable major index? So in this instance here, precious metal miners, because they are not tech orientated, I'm looking at, say, GDX, KGC, Barrick Gold versus the SPY ETF. Are they displaying intraday relative strength at that time? Preferably they are, okay? If I just go and like change this out for the SPY ETF, again, I just want to show you the opening 5 minute candlestick from the 11th of December. So take a look at this bar here. Look at that bar. You see that bar? Relative to this bar. So those bars there, that is the 11th of December 2025 from 9:30 to 9:35. Look at the SPY. It's a red bar, ugly kind of bar, yeah? Opens here, tries to go, doesn't, comes down, weak close. Look at GDX. That is then intraday relative strength. Context of the daily chart. Bullish opening 5 minute candlestick like a GDX. A group theme confirmation. Is the whole group going? And then is it displaying intraday relative strength? That is what I focus on so much to really help my win rate when I am trading breakouts. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you want to go deep down the rabbit hole and stuff like this, then head over to my platform. You may enjoy some of the things that I've got over there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in a future video.